scientists have found more and more evidence supporting the health benefits of resistance training. Resistance training is basically any physical activity where your muscles have to beat a resistance. The stereotypical example is weightlifting, but body weight exercises and resistance bands would also apply. Traditionally, cardio got most of the attention and most of the focus in official recommendations by health organizations, but little by little, resistance training is starting to share the spotlight. And actually, the American Heart Association just came out with a scientific statement, essentially sort of a guideline where they recommend resistance training widely. And these organizations are usually pretty ossified. They take a long time to change their guidelines. So when they finally do, you can know that there's a lot of evidence accumulated in that direction. So just to give you a taste, there's evidence that resistance training can help improve blood pressure, glucose levels, hemoglobin A1C, so glycated hemoglobin, insulin resistance, cholesterol and triglycerides, and body composition. There's also evidence suggesting a benefit for heart health in general, lower risk of diabetes and mortality, improved cognition, optimized sleep, and mental health. Not bad, right? Now, some of those benefits are going to overlap with the benefits from cardio, but there are some areas where they seem additive. And so people who do both tend to have a bit more benefit, specifically for things like fasting glucose levels and weight maintenance. And also, our bodies look better when we do some resistance training, which is a nice confidence boost. So I don't want to discourage cardio by any means. Cardio is great. I do cardio all the time, but consider mixing it up. Another thing that's very interesting is these recent guidelines emphasize two groups of people, women and older populations above 60. We have this idea that lifting weights is for dudes and it's for young dudes, but that's not true at all. And actually, the benefits can be substantial for these groups as well. For example, in women, resistance training can help prevent the decline in bone mineral density that we see with age and the tendency to develop osteoporosis, especially after menopause. They even recommend resistance training for women during pregnancy and right after childbirth in the postpartum period. It can help, for example, prevent incontinence, which is a common complication of childbirth. In an older population, resistance training can help prevent the decline of muscle mass, sarcopenia. It can help improve mobility, and it also reduces the risk of falls, which is a huge concern in this age group. I've shared here before that my mother is 76, recovering from very serious health conditions, and I gave her a very simple, quick resistance training program with light weights, but that are challenging for her, and she does it a couple times a week at home, 10, 15 minutes. So anyone can do it. Now, interestingly, the biggest benefit is seen when going from no resistance training to some. And after that, the effect plateaus a little bit. So there's diminishing returns. But in a way, people who don't do any resistance training have the most to gain by starting it. And again, it doesn't have to take a long time. It doesn't have to be a marathon workout that takes up all of your time. A 10 to 15 minute workout twice a week. So 30 minutes of investment weekly can already deliver significant benefits. So that's pretty doable. Here's an example workout that you can do even at home. And I'll link this below in the description for people who want to save it on their phone or print it out. So about a dozen exercises total. Chest press with some weights, push-ups. If the push-ups are too hard for you at first, you can do with your knees on the floor or you can do against the wall. Shoulder press, sitting down or standing up, shoulder raises, and then for the back, seated rows with resistance bands, for example, and then some bent over rows. A triceps extension over your head can be single arm or double arm, a bicep curl exercise, and then lower body, squats, lunges, calf raises, and then finally for the core, ab crunches and back extensions. If you're starting this from scratch, I'd say one set each at first is fine, 8 to 12 reps each exercise, twice a week. That's a 10-15 minute workout, and that's a solid start. Another tip for an older population wanting to work on balance and stability and avoid falls, doing some of these exercises with the feet closer together and with no hand support, there's some evidence that that is more effective to help prevent falls. Last couple points. Who can do it and who can't do it? Most people can do it Even people with some conditions like some types of heart failure, peripheral arterial disease, chronic kidney disease can still do it and actually get a lot of benefit from it. There are some conditions where you want to be careful: unstable coronary heart disease, decompensated heart failure, and also if you have very high blood pressure that's not controlled, like systolic blood pressure over 180. These are some conditions where you do want to be careful. So please talk to your doctor before starting anything new. Also remember, if you're trying to build up a little bit of muscle, yeah, you'll need to stimulate your muscles, but you'll also need adequate protein intake. Sometimes people obsess over this and overdo it. Just make sure you include some protein-rich foods in your diet. We have a lot of content on that. Protein powder is also an option if you want to supplement your protein a little bit. You don't need mad amounts of protein. We have videos going over that in detail. 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilo of body weight is a good zone to be in. 1.6 or thereabouts is thought to maximize hypertrophy. So I'll link that in the end. And finally, I would say the main point is find something that you find doable, because the point is for this to become part of your life. It's not something that you're going to do as a chore for 3 months to see if you get buff. It doesn't really work that way. This is just something that you do now. So consider making this one of your 2024 goals. Find ways to make it fun. If lifting weights at the gym is unbearable for you, maybe a class with other people, or maybe body weight exercises. Some people prefer that. Coming up with personal goals to stay motivated is another common strategy. Maybe it's I have to do X number of push-ups in 6 months or lift this amount of weight, whatever drives you. Also, if you have the ability to do so, consider working with the trainer to learn the form, to do the exercises properly. You don't want to get injured, and you don't want to fall into ego lifting where people just try to go massive weights and then hurt themselves. That's really counterproductive. Start slow, learn it right, integrate it into your life, reap the benefits long term. Here's a video where we cover the impact of resistance training on glucose levels. Very impressive results of a recent study. And here's a lot more on how much protein you need to eat in order to grow muscle. Check those out. I'll see you over there. Bye.